Welcome to my next mobile dungeon video. Today I want to talk about the stats in the game and also a little bit about the combat system in the game. And yeah, let's dive right into it. The first is hit points. It just makes how much hit points you have. And also there are some spells who scale with HP. Like this hero, for example, makes HP damage. There are other heroes who will make like HP healing. And for the combat system, it's important to know that there is like this elemental advantage right here. So usually your heroes will always attack like the elemental advantage they face. So for example, you can see here in the top, fire will attack nature, nature will attack water, and water will attack fire again, and shadow will light, and light will attack shadow. You can see it right there. But if you have like a low HP hero, for example, if a hero has like 1% HP left, this focus might swift. And that's also pretty important to know that if you have like a low life enemy, for example, or a low life hero in your own tavern, the enemy might attack him. They might switch focus. And yeah, that's all you can say about this one. And then there are the three main stats as well: attack, defense, and agility. There are attack damage heroes. Most of them are attack damage heroes, where their skills scale with attack damage, and the attack damage stat just increases the damage they do. And then there are defense hero who scale with the defense, and there are agility heroes who scale with agility. So yeah, that's important to know. And defense also decreases the amount of damage you take. So if you have a high defense number, you will take less damage. Then there is this shadow resistance percent, for example, or the res percent. And the res percent and the single nature or shadow or light resistance will also decrease the amount of damage you take. So those three numbers make you take less damage. And yeah, for agility will decide on how high the action points line is and which hero will start first. If you look in the open world, if you make this one here, right here, and we've started, and usually the one with the highest agility will start the fight. On this open world encounters, there's a random number like +1 up to -10, +10 to up to -10% randomness on the stat. So you might wonder why sometimes the hero with the highest agility starts and sometimes not, and this is because of this random factor. So this blue line, for example, Lilith has like 4k agility, so this blue line is kept at 4k, and other heroes who have like 3k agility, for example, will only fill up as high as their agility is. And the agility actually just makes on how fast this blue line will fill up again. And that's important to know. And for like arena or dungeon fights, this blue, there is no random factor. So on those dungeon and arena fights, always the highest agility will start the fight and will determine the length of the AP line on the blue line. And yeah, that's pretty much all you can say about that. And it's important to start first, of course, and for Arena, for example, this is like the most important stat to have high agility and to manipulate this blue line here, so your team attacks first. And yeah, and then there is like critical chance and critical damage. I don't have to explain that. You have like 10% critical chance as a base stat and 150% critical damage as a base stat. You can push those numbers, and yeah, that's pretty straightforward. And then there is accuracy and resistance, and this is where things get a little bit tricky, but it's not that complicated actually. So you have like debuffs, this red things right here, attack down, death down, for example, on this hero, or like poison, for example, marked or poisoned. And usually if it's not said otherwise, you have like 100% chance, but like Robin, for example, only has 50% chance to inflict the debuffs, and like Thor, for example, here has like 100% chance to inflict this debuff, but there's also always a 10% resistance base stat. And you can push, for example, like accuracy to a really high number. Let me actually see this. On this hero, you have this control hero who wants to like make her debuffs, her bound and her cursed spell, of course. So you want as high as possible accuracy, and there are actually like stats that can push that pretty high, and you want to look for like resistance right here, for example, or accuracy right here, flat accuracy, not percent accuracy. So this 145 will increase my accuracy by 45%. And let me find something else with accuracy percent, with accuracy flat. And yeah, that right here as well, and right here as well. So right now I have 3 items with accuracy percent, so I have like over 100% accuracy. And for resistance, there's this flat resistance that you're aiming for, like the rest percent will just decrease the damage you will take, as I said earlier. And right here we have resistance, and right here we have also flat resistance. So this hero right now will have like 100% resistance and 138 accuracy. But even if if you have like over 110% accuracy, you will most certainly will hit the debuff on the enemy, even if he has like 0% resistance. There is still a rest chance of like a really low number that the enemy actually resists your debuffs. But this number is really low, but there's still the possibility to resist this. This is intended from the player games, that there's also always a chance to like resist debuffs. But the flat accuracy and resistance numbers are only for hitting debuffs or resist debuffs. And this is important for like control heroes, of course, and for the arena, of course. I mean, if you hit like high accuracy on Thor, for example, you get like attack down and death down, and you want pretty high accuracy on this hero. And for arena, you want your heroes to have high resistance, because debuffs can really change the fights. And yeah. And then there's also elite damage. This will just increase your damage against like legendary heroes. Healing efficiency. This will increase the healing your healers will do. And healing recovery will increase the healing you actually gain from the healers. And this like fire resistance, nature resistance, and so on is this like little res 10%. Decreases your damage you take, and yeah. But it's kind of buggy right now, so that's why here's like 0.0% right there. But I actually have like 3.52%. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I hoped this helped you a little bit to understand it. I kept it pretty basic. It's not in depth. There's a lot more to talk about this topic actually, but I hope this in general will help you a lot. I mean, this video is already about 10 minutes in, but yeah, you just need this time to explain this whole system. It's quite complicated. So yeah, I hope this helped you, and I see you on the next video.